Hello everyone, welcome to lecture 3, and in this week we'll be looking at electronic business or e-business values. Before we actually start looking at the learning outcomes for this lecture, let's have a look at a little case study. In 1937, Edwin Land started a company that made a polarizing plastic and named it Polaroid. The business boomed. Land was taking family pictures on his vacations in 1943 when his 3-year-old daughter asked why they had to wait so long to see the developed photographs. Land was struck with the idea of combining the polarization technology with developing films. By 1950, Land had a camera that produced black and white images, and by 1963, he released a camera that produced color pictures. The Polaroid camera took off, and by the late 1960s, it was estimated that 50% of American households owned one. Now, question. If Polaroid executives had used 5 forces analysis, which was derived by Porter, which you also call it as Porter's 5 forces analysis, would they have discovered the threat of substitute products of the digital camera? What could they have done to combat this threat? Now, by looking at the lecture notes, we'll try to answer this question in lecture 3. Lecture 3 overview. This lecture is divided into 2 sections. Section 3.1, Web 1.0 electronic business. Web 1.0 disruptive technology. The 4 e-business models. E-business tools for connecting and communicating. The challenges of e-business. Section 3.2 is about Web 2.0, Business 2.0. Web 2.0 advantages of Business 2.0. We shall also be looking at networking communities and Business 2.0. Business 2.0 tools for collaborating, the challenges of Business 2.0, Web 3.0 defining the next generation of online business opportunities. Web 1.0, e-businesses. The learning outcomes for section 3.1 is compare disruptive and sustaining technologies and explain how the internet and the World Wide Web cause business disruption. 2, describe e-business and its associated advantages. 3, compare the 4 e-business models. 4, describe the 6 e-business tools for connecting and communicating. 5, identify the 4 challenges associated with e-business. Disruptive versus sustaining technology. Digital dynamism implies that organizations which cannot adapt to the new demands placed on them for surviving in the information age are doomed to extinction. Disruptive technology, a new way of doing things that initially does not meet the expectations and the needs of existing customers. Sustaining technology produces an improved product customers are eager to buy. Now, disruptive innovation creates new products and new markets and demonstrates a new value for something consumers didn't know they needed, wanted, or were missing. A great example of disruptive innovation is Apple in the early 2000s. Apple combined excellent and groundbreaking new technology in the form of the iPod with innovation in the form of iTunes, massively simplifying the ability to download digital music. This changed the way people interacted with digital and portable music, and obviously helped make Apple one of the great tech companies of the 21st century. Sustaining technology is essentially companies improving their products and competing with other organizations providing similar services in a race about who has the best tech. Some sustaining innovation can be slow, year-on-year improvement, whilst some can be huge, giant leaps forward. Sustaining innovation all takes place within pre-existing markets that customers, consumers, and users have demonstrated they value already. A great example of sustaining innovation is the current smartphone market. Every year, big companies bring out new, improved products and identify extra features, new ways of doing things, and incremental improvements in performance that give their product the extra edge compared to their competitors. Innovators' dilemma discusses how established companies take advantage of disruptive technologies without hindering existing relationships with customers, partners, and stakeholders. The innovator's dilemma is the decision that businesses must make between catering to their customers' current needs or adopting new innovations and technologies which will answer their future needs. The internet and the World Wide Web, the ultimate business disruptors. One of the biggest forces changing business is internet, a massive network that connects computers all over the world and allows them to communicate with one another. Organizations must be able to transform as markets, economic environments, and technologies change. Focusing on the unexpected allows an organization to capitalize on the opportunity for new business growth from a disruptive technology. Internet, the full form is internetwork, which is a collection of networks. A collection of network designates many networks joined together to form a large network, therefore internetwork. World Wide Web, or WWW, provides access to internet information through documents including text, graphics, audio, and video files that use a special formatting language called HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. Web browsers allows users to access the World Wide Web. Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or HTTP, the Internet Protocol web browsers use to request and display web pages using URL. URL is the abbreviation for Universal Resource Locator, or the website address as we call it in simple terms. So the major question is, are the internet and the World Wide Web synonymous? Are they similar? People often interchange the terms internet and the World Wide Web, but these terms are not synonymous. The internet is a global public network of computer networks that pass information from one to another using common computer protocols. The World Wide Web is a global hypertext system that uses the internet as its transport mechanism. The World Wide Web operates on the internet. The internet and the World Wide Web, the ultimate business disruptors, continued. Reasons for growth of the World Wide Web. Microcomputer revolution made it possible for an average person to own a computer. Advancements in networking. Businesses were able to connect to larger networks at a minimal costs. Easy browser software provided users with easy-to-use graphical user interface to find, download, and display web pages. Speed, convenience, and low cost of email lead to its popularity for business and personal communications. Web pages easy to create and flexible. What are the two primary reasons for growth of the World Wide Web? Some of it may be business, information processing, decision making, data analysis, ease of information distribution. Two events that changed the history of the internet work. On August 6, 1991, Tim Berners-Lee built the first website. Two, the introduction of network also went around changing the history of the internet work. Web 1.0, the catalyst for electronic business. The internet has had impact on almost every industry, including travel, entertainment, electronics, financial services, retail, automobiles, education and training. There are many advantages of the internet: connectivity, communication and sharing, information, knowledge and learning, address, mapping and contact information, selling and making money, banking, bills and shopping, donations and funding, entertainment, work from home, collaboration, and access to a global workforce. Web 1.0 are termed to refer to www, or the World Wide Web, during its first few years of operation between 1991 and 2003. E-commerce, buying and selling of goods and services over the internet. E-business includes e-commerce along with all activities related to internal and external business operations. Electronic business opened up a new marketplace for any company willing to move its business operations online. Paradigm shift occurs when a new, radical form of business enters the market that reshapes the way companies and organizations behave. Example, e-commerce. E-commerce is the buying and selling of goods and services over the internet. It is conducted over computers, tablets, smartphones, and other smart devices. Almost anything can be purchased through e-commerce today. It is a good substitute for a brick and mortar sort of stores. E-business advantages. It expands global reach. It opens up new markets, reduces costs, improves operations, and improves effectiveness. Both individuals and organizations have embraced electronic business to enhance productivity, maximize convenience, and improve communications. The internet's expansion on information, expanding global reach. Easy to compile. Searching for information on products, prices, customers, suppliers, and partners is faster and easy when using the internet. Increased richness refers to the depth and breadth of information transferred between customers and business. Businesses and customers can collect and track more detailed information when using the internet. Increased reach refers to the number of people a business can communicate with on a global basis. Businesses can share information with numerous customers all over the world. Improved content. A key element of the internet is its ability to provide dynamic, relevant content. Now, what is the difference between information richness and information reach? Information richness refers to the depth and breadth of information transferred between customers and business. Instead of a company catalog with a simple text box and perhaps a small photograph, the web allows companies to post three-dimensional photos, video, customer reviews, newspaper and magazine articles, product comparisons including price, etc. Information reach refers to the number of people a business can communicate with. On a global basis, companies can now reach customers all around the world, not just customers who can physically travel to their store. Opening new markets. E-business is perfect for increasing niche product sales. Mass customization. The ability of an organization to tailor its products or services to the customer's specifications. Personalization occurs when a company knows enough about a customer's likes and dislikes that it can fashion offers more likely to appeal to that person. A niche product is a product targeting a specific section of a larger industry and market. Mass customization is the ability of an organization to tailor its products and services to the preference and specifications of their customers. Personalization occurs when a website can know enough about a person's likes and dislikes that it can fashion offers that are more likely to appeal to that person. Personalization involves tailoring a presentation of an e-business website to individuals or groups of customers based on profile information, demographics, and prior transaction. Amazon uses personalization to create unique portal for each of its customers. Reducing costs, intermediary, agents and software, or businesses that provide a trading infrastructure to bring buyers and sellers together. This is done in the form of disintermediation, occurs when a business sells directly to the customer online and cuts out intermediary. An example is Tapoos selling their products and services via e-commerce websites. Re-intermediation steps are added to the value chain as new players find ways to add value to the business process. Example, products to be sold by other retailers. A local example would be Tapo Group Fiji imports items to Fiji and then it sells it off to supermarkets for reselling. This is an example of re-intermediation. Cybermediation refers to the creation of new kinds of intermediaries that simply could not have existed before the advent of e-business. Example, comparison websites such as Kelgoo or Travelocity. A local example would be online travel solutions companies that sells Fiji-based hotel rooms to tourists. Improving effectiveness. Electronic business websites must create buzz, be innovative, add value, and provide useful information. It must build a sense of community and collaboration. Interactivity measures advertising effectiveness by counting visitor interactions with the target ad, including time spent viewing the ad, number of pages viewed, and number of repeat visits to the advertisement. Heat map, a two-dimensional representation of data in which values are represented by colors. Heat maps will tell the company where the majority of the traffic lands, where they live, the videos they are watching, the products they are looking at. Heat maps can tell the company the hotspots for the website. Refer to the picture in the slide. The color red indicates where majority of the clicks took place. This is an example of heat maps. After looking at the heat map, we observe that a lot of users clicked on the product image, and as per the existing design, on clicking the product image, it does not expand. What the heat map did here was it told you exactly what users were expecting from your product page and gave you actionable insight on how you can optimize your product page to match visitor expectations and improve your website's user experience. Another way in which we can improve effectiveness is through clickstream. Data tracks the exact pattern of how a customer's navigation through a website. Clickstream data can reveal number of page views, pattern of websites visited, length of stay on a website, date and time visited, number of customers with shopping carts, number of abandoned shopping carts. A clickstream is a record that contains data about a website user's clicks on a computer display screen via a mouse or touchpad. Another way in which effectiveness could be improved and which could generate marketing revenue in the internet is through banner ad. Banner ad is a box running across a web page that is often used to contain advertisements. It contains a link to the advertiser's website. Web-based advertising services can track the number of times users click the banner, generating statistics that enable the advertiser to judge whether the advertising fees are worth paying. Banner ads are living, breathing, classifying ads. A banner ad is a form of advertising on the World Wide Web delivered by an ad server. Ad server would mean advertisement server. This form of online advertising entails embedding an advertisement in a web page. It is intended to attract traffic to a website by linking the website of the advertiser. Pop-up ad is a small web page containing an advertisement that appears on the web page outside of the current website loaded in the web browser. A pop-under ad is a form of a pop-up ad that users do not see until they close the current web browser screen. Pop-up ads or pop-ups are a form of online advertising on the World Wide Web. A pop-up is a graphical user interface display area, usually a small window that appears in the foreground of the visual interface. To improve effectiveness and generate more revenue on the internet, associate programs and viral marketings are also used. Associate programs, also known as affiliate programs, allow businesses to generate commissions or royalties from an internet site. For example, a business can sign up as an associate of a major commercial site such as Amazon. The business then sends potential buyers to the Amazon site, usually a code or banner ad. The business receives a commission when the referred customer makes a purchase on Amazon. Viral marketing is a technique that induces websites or users to pass on a marketing message to other websites or users, creating exponential growth in the message's visibility and effect. One example of successful viral marketing is Hotmail, which promotes its services and its own advertises messages in every user's email notes. Viral marketing is a word of mouth type advertising program. Clickstream analytics can also be used to improve effectiveness. It is a process of collecting, analyzing, and reporting aggregate data or sum of data about which pages a web visitor visits and in what order. There are two levels of clickstream analytics, traffic analytics, and e-business analytics. Website traffic analytics uses clickstream data to determine the efficiency of the site for the users and operates at the server level. Website traffic analytics will help a business understand ease of use of the website, that is efficiency. Traffic analysis tracks down on how many pages are served on the user, how long it takes for the page to load, how often the user hits the browser's back button, and how much data is transmitted before the user moves on. Website e-business analytics uses clickstream data to determine the effectiveness of the site as a channel to market. It tells what pages the shopper lingers on, what the shopper puts in or takes out of a shopping cart, what items the shopper purchases, whether or not the shopper belongs to a loyalty program and uses a coupon code, and the shopper preferred method of payment. Website e-business analytics will help a company understand buying patterns and if the right customers are finding the right products to purchase. There are four e-business models. A e-business model is a plan that details how a company creates, delivers, and generates revenue on the internet. There are four e-business models: business to business, business to consumer, consumer to business, and consumer to consumer. Business to business applies to businesses buying and selling to each other over the internet. Business to consumer applies to any business that sells its products or services to consumers over the internet. Consumer to business applies to any consumer that sells a product or service to a business over the internet. consumer to consumer applies to sites primarily offering goods and services to assist consumers interacting with each other over the internet. Let's look at some examples. A very good example for business to business is Google search marketing or an electronic marketplace. Business to consumers, Amazon. Consumer to business, eBay or Amazon. Consumer to consumer, eBay, Amazon, AliExpress. E-business forms and revenues generating strategy. Search engine, a website software that finds other pages based on keyword matching similar to Google. A search engine is a software system that is designed to carry out web searches. They search the World Wide Web in a systematic way for particular information specified in a textual web search query. The search results are generally presented in a line of results, often referred to as search engine results page. Search engine ranking evaluates variables that search engines use to determine where a URL appears on the list of search results. Rankings in search engine optimization refers to a website's position in the web engine results page. These are various ranking factors that influence whether a website appears higher on the search engine results page based on the content relevance of the search term or the quality of backlinks pointing to the page. Search engine optimization combines art along with science to determine how to make URLs more attractive to search engines, resulting in higher search engine ranking. Search engine optimization is a process of improving the quality and quantity of web traffic to a website or a web page from search engines. E-business forms and revenue generating strategies. Common e-business revenue models. These are some of it. Advertising fees, license fees, subscription fees, transaction fees, value-added service fees, pay-per-click, pay-per-call, and pay-per-conversation. Conversion rather, it's pay-per-conversion. E-business fraud. Affiliate program allows a business to generate commissions or referral fees when a customer visiting its website clicks a link to another merchant's website. Click fraud, the practice of artificially inflating traffic statistics for online advertisements. Click fraud is a type of fraud that occurs on the internet in pay-per-click online advertising. In this type of advertising, the owners of websites that post the ads are paid based on how many site visitors click on the ads. Hitbots create the illusion that a large number of potential customers are clicking the advertiser's links, when in fact there is no likelihood that any of the clicks will lead to profit for the advertiser. Hitbots are robots or automated processes that are used to increase the number of page hits requesting to a website. Hitbots may be used to increase the popularity of web pages by increasing the number of requested page views. Electronic business tools for connecting and communicating. Email, short form for electronic mail, is the exchange of digital messages over the internet. Email is typically delivered through an internet service provider, a company that provides access to the internet for a monthly fee or on a prepaid fee, such as AOL or Comcast. Internet service provider, a very good example of internet service provider here in Fiji is Vodafone Fiji, Digicel, Inc., Kindernet, or Connect. Instant messaging, a service that enables instant or real-time communication between people. Instant messaging occurs in real time when a system updates information at the same rate it receives it. Podcasting, converts an audio broadcast to a digital music player. Video conferencing allows people at two or more locations to interact via two-way video and audio transmissions simultaneously. Web conferencing blends video conferencing with document sharing and allows the user to deliver a presentation over the web to a group of geographically dispersed participants. Content management system helps companies manage the creation, storage, editing, and publication of their website content. The challenges of e-business: identifying limited market segments, lack of growth in some sectors due to product or service limitations. Example, online food sector, fragile and consumable goods, and highly sensitive or confidential businesses such as government agencies. Managing consumer trust, the physical separation of buyer and seller, the physical separation of buyer and merchandise, and customer perceptions about the risk of doing business online provide unique challenges. To build trust means being accessible and available to communicate in person with your customers, using customers' testimonials and accepting legitimate forms of payment such as credit cards. Ensuring consumer protection, protect its customers, guarding them against unsolicited goods and communication, illegal or harmful goods, insufficient information about goods and suppliers, invasion of privacy, and misuse of personal information, and online fraud. Increase system security, however, must not make e-business websites inflexible or difficult to use. Adhering to taxation rules. Tax policy should provide a level playing field for traditional retail businesses, mail order companies, and online merchants. Internet marketplace remains mostly free of traditional forms of tax-free, partly because e-commerce laws is vaguely defined and differ from state to state, country to country. Section 3.2, Web 2.0, Business Case 2.0. Let's have a look at a case. Jeff Bezos owns 41% of Amazon and is estimated to be worth over 900 million. Bezos graduated from Princeton and was the youngest vice president at Bankers Trust in New York. Bezos had to make a decision to stay and receive his 1994 Wall Street bonus or leave and start a business on the internet. Bezos said, I tried to imagine being 80 years old, looking back on my life. I knew that I would hardly regret having missed the 1994 Wall Street bonus, but having missed being part of the internet boom, that would have really hurt me, said Bezos. The first books ordered through Amazon were dispersed in the fall of 1994, personally packaged by Bezos and his wife. Amazon.com is now the biggest bookstore on the planet. It is an exemplar of electronic business. Section 3.2, Planning Outcomes. Explain Web 2.0 and identifies 4 characteristics. Explain what Business 2.0 is helping communities network and communicate. Describe the 3 Business 2.0 tools for collaborating. Explain the 3 challenges associated with Business 2.0. Describe Web 3.0 and the next generation of online business. Web 2.0, advantages of Business 2.0. Web 2.0, the next generation of internet use after Web 1.0, a more mature, distinctive communications platform characterized by 3 qualities: collaboration, sharing, free. Web 2.0 is a set of economic, social, and technology trends that collectively form the basis for the generation, the next generation of the internet are more mature, distinctive medium characterized by user participation, openness, and network effects. Although the term suggests a new version of the World Wide Web, it does not refer to an update to web technical specifications. Instead, it refers to changes in the way software developers and end users use the web as a platform. Advantages of Web 2.0. Available at any time, any place. Variety of media. Ease of usage. Learners can actively be involved in knowledge building, can create dynamic learning communities. Everybody is the author and the editor. Every edit that has been made can be tracked, user-friendly. After listening to these advantages, what we can conclude is that the characteristics of Web 2.0 is generally divided into 4 categories, and these include content sharing through open sourcing, user-contributed content, collaboration inside the organization, and collaboration outside the organization. So let's have a look at these and the contents within these trends. First of all, we look at content sharing through open sourcing. Open system, non-proprietary hardware and software based on publicly known standards that allows third parties to create add-on products to plug into or interoperate with system. And these could be done by source code. Source code contains instructions written by a programmer specifying the actions to be performed by the computer software. Open source, any software whose source code is made available free for any third party to review and modify. Closed software, also known as proprietary software or non-free software, is a computer software for which the software's publisher or another person reserves some licensing rights to use, modifying, share modifications, or share the software. Now, what it does, it restricts the user freedom with the software that they lease. User-contributed content, created and updated by many users for many users. Example, Flickr, Wikipedia, or YouTube even. And these include reputation system and native advertising. User-contributed content is original, brand-based content created by consumers and is published on social media or other channels. Collaboration inside the organization. Collaboration systems are tools that support the work of teams or groups by facilitating and sharing the flow of information. Collective intelligence is collaborating and tapping into the core knowledge of all employees, partners, and customers. Knowledge management involves capturing, classifying, evaluating, retrieving, and sharing information assets in a way that provides context for effective decisions and actions. Now, knowledge management system supports the capturing, organization, and dissemination of information throughout an organization. Why is knowledge one of the real competitive advantages? To answer that, it is difficult to duplicate knowledge. It can take years to acquire knowledge. Knowledge is a personal asset that an organization owns. If an organization would capture all of a person's knowledge using technology, what will happen to the person? The person may not be needed in the organization. Collaboration outside the organization. A very good example is crowdsourcing. That is the wisdom of the crowd. So how can we get or attain wisdom from the crowd is by 2 means: asynchronous communication and synchronous communication. Asynchronous communication, such as email, in which the message and the response do not occur at the same time. That means data travels in one direction only. Synchronous communication Example, IMs, that is instant messaging or chats, is a message that occurs at the same time. That is the sending and receiving. That means data transmission takes place in two ways, sending and receiving. Networking communities with Business 2.0. Social media, websites that rely on user participation and user distributed content. Example, Facebook. Social network. Pardon me, an example of social media would be a video, an image, or an audio. Social network, example, Facebook, an application that connects people by matching profile information. Social networking, the practice of expanding your business and or social contact by a personal network. Social networking analysis, what it does, it maps group contents, identifying who knows each other and who works together. For instance, all the staffs who may be working under Fiji National University may have or may get connected via a social networking analysis. Social tagging, specific keywords or phrases incorporated into website content for means of classification or taxonomy. Social tagging describes the collaborative activity of marking shared online content with keywords or tags, such as way to organize it for future navigation, filtering, or search. Taxonomy, similar to taxonomy except that crowdsourcing determines the tags or keywords-based classification system. Website bookmark, a locally stored URL or the address of a file or internet page saved as a shortcut. Social bookmarking allows users to share, organize, search, and manage bookmarks. Web 2.0, tools for collaborating. The three major tools that are used for collaborating are blog, wiki, and mashup. Blog, an online journal that allows users to post their own comments, graphics, and video. Example, Sweet Leaf Tea, Stony Farm, Nuts About Southwest, Disney Parks, etc. MOBA IMBD is also an example of a blog. Wiki, a type of collaborative web page that allows users to add, remove, and change content, which can easily be organized and reorganized as required. Example, Wikipedia. Mashup, a website or web application that uses content from more than one source to create a completely new product or service. A very good example for this is Infopedia. Web 3.0. Web 3.0 brings up a concept called as deep web, the largest part of the internet that is inaccessible to conventional search engines. The deep web, sometimes called the invisible web, is a large part of the internet that is inaccessible to conventional search engines. Deep web content includes email messages, chat messages, private content on social media sites, electronic bank statements, electronic health records, and other content that is accessible over the internet, but is not crawled and indexed by search engines such as Google, Yahoo, or Bing. In other words, these are some of the things that you may not find on the internet when you search on these search engines. The dark web is a portion of the internet that is intentionally hidden from search engines. Users masked IP address and is accessible only with a special web browser. The key takeaway here on dark web is that it is part of the deep web. Web 3.0, based on intelligent web applications using natural language processing, machine-based learning, and reasoning, and intelligent applications. Semantic web, a component of Web 2.0 that describes things in a way that computers can understand. The first step towards Web 3.0 is the emergence of the data-driven web, as structured data records are published on the web in formats that are reusable and able to be queried remotely. Because of the recent growth of standardized query language, or SQL, for searching across distributed databases on the web, the data-driven web enables a new level of data integration and application interoperability, making data as openly accessible and linkable as web pages. The data-driven web is the first step of the path toward the full web semantic. In the data-driven web phase, the focus is on making structured data available using databases. A full semantic web stage will widen the scope such that both structured data and even what is traditionally thought of as unstructured or semi-structured content, example websites, will be widely available in common formats. With Web 3.0, the emergence of certain technology will be at its maximum. A very good example would be of artificial intelligence, machine learning, 3D, evolution, and semantic web. E-government. E-government involves the use of strategies and technologies to transform governments by improving the delivery of services and enhancing the quality of interaction between citizen and consumer within all branches of the government. E-government are government-based services in electronic means instead of physically visiting locations. So this concludes our lecture 3. Now, to quickly sum up, these are some of the contents that we had gone over. First of all, we compared disruptive and sustaining technologies. Then we went around describing e-businesses and associated advantages. We looked at the 4 e-business models and some of the challenges which are associated with e-businesses. After that, we went around looking at Web 2.0 and its 4 characteristics. Moreover, we went around describing how Web 2.0 can help communities in terms of networking and collaboration. Then, we looked at some of the challenges faced by Web 2.0. And finally, we went over looking at Web 3.0 and what could be some of the possible things that could come up using Web 3.0, especially in the terms of dark web, deep web, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and semantic web. So this concludes our slides and lecture for lecture 3. Thank you.